Welcome to the Wandering Road, a place where the unseen moves all around us. The stories you'll hear aren't just whispered legends. They're shadows that cling, footsteps that follow, and whispers that never fade. Every turn pulls you closer to the unknown, and once you've heard what waits here, the night will never feel the same again.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Wandering Road podcast. I'm your host, Chris, alongside my co-host, Dean. For today's episode, we have a couple of things in mind. But, Dean, I wanted to talk to you about some quick AI stuff that I saw in the news. I know we tend to go on the AI train a little bit, but I think this one is warranted because I shared with you that OpenAI is constantly losing money, which I think everybody knows. They lose like what millions a day. I saw them complaining, like, stop saying thank you to the module because it costs us a crap ton of money.
And a bucket of water
Yeah,
for a thank
that.
you response. Oh my
Right,
God.
yeah. But Sora shut
Oh.
down. They're losing a crap ton of money. They're probably going to run out of money within a couple of years, it sounds like. And then you told me about the whole thing with Claude. You know, that their devs released their source in a patch by accident. So are we seeing the downfall of AI? And I don't mean downfall as like it's going to go away completely, but kind of like the scaling back of AI, because a lot of people are pushing back on it. A lot of people are pushing back on data centers. Within the past year, we saw like companies like Microsoft and Nvidia go full frontal on AI. And now people like they started calling Microsoft Microslop. All the pushback really affects their numbers on the market.
Yeah.
So you think we're gonna see like, scaling back of it a bit, or do you think they just don't give a shit and they're just gonna do what they want?
I think one of two things is going to happen. I think either, especially with the leak of the back end data through Claude, and then all the smart brainiac kids out there taking that and saving it on their computers and rewriting it to the point where it's no longer like protected proprietary material. It's literally like a brand new AI thing, like a new LLM completely. But the power that was already written behind that code is out there in the public space. And that's what's been talked about for a while, is like this is going to pivot from the idea that there's going to be these massive data centers and these companies are going to be in control of the AI and they're going to be the ones to like get the revenue and work it and manage it. But I think it's starting to go the opposite direction, which is large dispersal of LLMs and backend data and AI structures to all people, like free. And people are just going to create their own and try to sell their own or share their own for free. And that's going to completely drain the billions and billions and billions of dollar revenue cycle that these big companies are trying to capture. With that being said, I think that it's also possible that the governments of the world can swoop in and bail them out, because everybody quickly forgets about how AI can be a game changer military application possibility. And so when it comes to AI in the military sphere, you can have the most crazy capability of robotics and munitions and orchestration and strategy from your AI. But if the other AI on the other side is a millisecond faster and more efficient than yours, that is a war of attrition and you've lost. So I don't think that the military and the governments of the world, especially the big powers, they're not going to let this go. They're going to at least try to salvage the bleed from these big companies for a little while, I think. And hopefully it doesn't turn into like a massive like breakout of support like it did with the 2008 housing crisis with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac or whatever. Hopefully it doesn't turn into like, Lehman Brothers or whatever, but it could. That's just where I see things right now, though. I can't really tell based off of right now what we're seeing.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to tell. I'm hoping it goes in the opposite direction. It kind of scales back. Because it's with AI, I've like used it so much, like in work settings, in my personal setting, because we have access to an LLM
Same here, yeah.
that we can just mess around with. And what scares the crap out of me is this damn thing hallucinates. It's like, why do I
Even your
have to
company-
correct you? Yeah. It's like I have to
man.
correct you. Like, you should know this. You have unlimited access to the database. It's like, what is going on here? And that's
Yeah,
my
it's like a
fear. Like,
babysitting thing.
yeah, yeah. It's like, okay, you want to incorporate AI into like military capabilities, and it's like, okay, what if it hallucinates the wrong coordinates
Yeah.
and it just like incessantly bombards an area that that has nothing to do with what you're trying to do, or you bomb yourself.
It's so funny you bring that up because I saw it was like a short clip of an overview, and I apologize for everybody listening. I'm having such a hard time getting my words out today because I am toast in terms of brain power. This last week was nuts for me. And
It's fine, and I'm
not
making
sleeping
video
well and shit.
podcasts at like
Yeah, this
what time is
asshole
it?
woke me up at 7:30. It's like 8 o'clock right now over here, and I'm trying to get my thoughts together. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding. It's fine. But yeah, okay. So I saw this video of, I think it was Palantir CEO, and this is where we're gonna get
It's
targeted because
Saruman.
I'm talking about Palantir. What's that?
Saruman is
Saruman. Yeah,
Palantiri.
exactly. I didn't even, dude.
You
I
didn't
knew
know
about
that?
Palantir. So no, I did. I had access, or like I knew about Palantir for a long time, and I just found out like a few months ago that it was named after the Lord of the Rings stuff, and I thought that was hilarious and scary because the way that they view that versus what actual readers of the material
Know about
of
it?
J.R. Tolkien know about it, like it's completely like it's scary in terms of how they approach the view of Palantir and how the other people like the genre approach it and in a negative light, and to them it's positive anyway.
Yeah.
So Palantir on the stage talking about showcasing this massive tool, brand new capability. It's like a dashboard on steroids where you can task and track and focus in on whatever aerial based, from an aerial perspective, satellites, targets, or whatever that you want to look at on the ground. And it's where it used to be where like you would need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tools and a bunch of analysts to go through and parse through all the data and combine it into like a product or something like that, or another dashboard to track what you want to track and find out what you want to find out. But this tool is like literally a one-stop shop, and it's terrifying what it does. And not terrifying from the sense of like they have a lot of power, like a God's eye thing. That's scary in and of itself. But what's scary to me is like what you said, which is there is a AI component to this. The verifiability and accountability of what the information is being passed to you is not always possible for humans to do in the moment that you're doing it. So like you said, what if it does send you coordinates that it's targeting like a school as opposed to like a military bunker or something, and then you're the one to press the button, you're the one to set whoever down range to go capture whoever or do whatever, and it turns out you can't even verify if it was right or wrong. I think that type of scrutiny needs to be more out in the public sphere. But even if it is, I don't even really think that no no amount of power of the people, I think, is going to stop this raging bull through the China shop going on from the government side, which is really just sucks in general because I think it's good. It's just bad.
Yeah, unless people actually go to data centers and start like ripping out the video cards and stuff. But the only thing
There's a lot of
salvageable,
video
I
cards.
think, the only thing salvageable, like from a data center, I think would be the RAM and like the SSDs, because the video cards are specifically made for that purpose. But to piggyback off of what you just said, did you see that report of a woman and a grandmother in Tennessee that was wrongly arrested
No.
because of AI facial recognition?
Oh no,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, yeah. So real time, this is happening. Like when you try
Wow.
to implement this crap real time, it's already happening. And could you
Yeah.
imagine that? Like you're just driving down the street, you go to the supermarket with your daughter, you just go pick up like Dino Nuggets, which apparently the Walmart version has lead in it now. So
Great.
yeah, don't eat that. Um I love Dino Nuggets was the staple of my childhood. Um
Yeah.
I
And
remember
that's
the
why
first
we
time
can't say Dino Nuggets, right?
I know.
Dino Nuggets.
I know.
Man.
I remember the first time I ever had them. I went to the Natural History Museum in New York. I was 5 years old. My
Mm,
mom took me. It was the greatest thing ever. They were like
yeah.
pretty big. You know, everything's like little now. Back in the 90s, everything was big. Or maybe because I was a kid. I'm sorry, that's just coffee talking. But anyway,
And the drugs.
and the drugs. Yes, because I have at the time of recording, I just recently, I did a 4-mile run, and now I have plantar fasciitis, and it's the one of the
Oh,
most painful fucking things I've ever experienced in my life. Just imagine you go for a run, you wind down, you cool down, and then at like 2 in the morning, your
mm,
heel and your entire foot just feels like someone's stabbing you, and it's a constant pulsing
oh,
pain, and you can't put pressure on your heel. Yesterday
yeah,
was so bad, I literally crawled around my house to
yeah,
get to the
yeah.
bathroom, to get to the kitchen, to let the dogs out. I was like, "Dude, I can't just sit on my ass. I need to
So
get
so
something done."
the pain is even like it's constant and it's bad when you're lying down prone or like on your back, but it's even worse
Mhm.
when you're standing on it.
You can't
Um,
even stand on it. You have to, like, be on your toes.
yeah.
Unless you have some
Wow.
sort of support. It sucks,
That's
dude.
that's the worst pain that like the type of pain that cannot be relieved by moving positions. It's
Mhm.
just like, oh
They're
man,
like,
that
"Oh,
sucks.
ice it." No, ice it made it worse. Elevate
Yeah.
it. Elevating it made it worse. Wrap it. Wrapping it made it
Cut it
worse.
off. Yeah.
That's where the point I was. My wife was like, "Oh my god, I've never seen you in so much pain." Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit hurt, man.
Yeah.
God. Okay, I don't wish that on anybody. It's horrible, and depending on how this goes, I may have to retire from running, which suck,
Oh,
which I
yeah.
hope I don't have to. Um,
Well, yeah. Just pace it because that's what I've done getting older. Like I used to love running constantly, and then I had some minor injuries and issues, so I sucked it up and made myself focus on the elliptical more. But the elliptical helps strengthen the rest of my muscles, low impact to the point where I can go out and run every once in a while. So it's
yeah.
like you don't have to cut running out completely. Just got to find ways to supplement it to get your strength back, and then you just have to do it less, I guess.
Yeah, which sucks. But anyway, quick tidbit about Palantir.
Hmm.
Some quick lore facts. So the Palantir initially was used in the Lord of the Rings books, like in its history, to kind of like as like a walkie-talkie system.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're over here in Arnor, and I'm in Arnor, and you're 3,000 miles away in Gondor. And I'm like, I'll pick up the Palantir. It's like, hey, Dean, we're getting attacked. Y'all need to come over here like now. So it allowed real-time transmission, and
Hmm.
eventually it fell to Sauron, which allowed him to basically whoever allowed one into their presence, allowed him to view everything and actually go into their minds and stuff. So it's kind of
Yeah.
creepy.
Like a spy thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. And the fact that they're naming themselves after these uh these items that were not necessarily used for good in Lord of the Rings in recent times, it's like what's next? Mordor LLM? Like what is coming down the pipeline next? So like
Yeah.
dude, I don't like that whole surveillance shit, dude. It's crazy. It drives me nuts. CCTV is fine.
Lego
Lego?
has it now. Lego
Lego
smart
has
brick.
what?
Have you not
What?
did you never heard you haven't heard of the smart brick now? There
No.
was a lot of pushback. I don't know if like they're rolling back or drawing or stepping back from the big push on it, but look up Lego smart bricks. Every single brick that Lego puts out in the smart brick series has
Mhm.
like some kind of I don't know if it's an inverter or there's some kind of uh technology inside that allows it to act and react to Bluetooth and to work in like a connection of different bricks that can do different things and stuff like that. And I was thinking like, oh well, that's like a listening device away from the ultimate 1984. And I was joking. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if like what shifted us into the 1984 timeline was Lego? And it's just like, eh, what a ridiculous way to become enslaved.
Dude, even with that, it's like PlayStation incorporating is going to incorporate this like AI assistant
Oh, why? No one's
to
gonna
help you in
use it.
games. To help you in games, like if you're stuck in a
Oh
certain
my
spot.
god.
Like, dude, so our friend Willie was here this past weekend visiting for a few days,
Nice.
and we were playing the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Oh, love
And
it.
I was fighting, oh my god, that one little dude that for some reason dressed like a figure skater. He looked like Prince.
Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
one?
That guy. Yeah. He turns into this giant monster, and like when it opens its mouth, you have to shoot it. And
Yeah.
until I figured out its pattern, I died like 4 times. So I finally figured out its pattern and I beat it. Within that span, it's like Sony wants to incorporate an AI that'll like do it for you, and it's like I don't know. Like I don't
Yeah.
need your
It's like
AI to
watching
do
a movie
stuff
at that
for
point.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to do it myself. And one thing with
By the way,
Gemini I don't
yeah.
like is like if I go to craft an email, they like incorporated Gemini into Gmail, and it's like, would you like us to draft a response for you? No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I have to read it anyway to make sure he didn't add like "go f yourself," whatever, you know, "go f yourself, loser."
Oh my god!
But what that's
dude.
actually that'd be a great that's a great way that's a great fallback to like if you send something to someone like angrily and you actually do something wrong, but then they like you realize you should have done that. Like, oh, sorry, my AI. Oh my god, I should have read that AI. Like like that's crazy that it sent that. You know, f your mother. I can't believe it sent that. Real quick, by the way, so this is just a little tiny little fun nugget Easter egg in Resident Evil 4 remake. For that
And it
specific
is time
boss
for
battle.
Easter.
Yeah, exactly. That you know where I'm going with this. If you get
Yeah.
the golden egg and you throw it at him, it like either kills him completely immediately or like takes his health down 99%. And I didn't find that out until like years of going back and playing that.
I know, dude. Resident Evil was made for people that enjoy puzzle torture. The
Yeah,
amount of
I
backtracking
love the
you have to
puzzles,
do.
man.
I
Yeah.
hate the puzzle. I hate it. But anyway,
No.
yeah, Sony, we don't want your AI. We don't want your AI assistant in our games. Okay. This is coming from a person that figured out Metal Gear Solid by myself. Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 0, 4. No, we don't need it.
Do you remember the days when if you wanted to get help for walkthroughs, you had to buy the book
Fucking
called
strategy
whatever
guide.
game a strategy guide walkthrough, and you had to read your ass through that and put in bookmarks and save places like actually comprehend and this is where the old man transition syndrome comes in, where they go, these kids nowadays, they use their blasted AI to figure. We had to go to the store and walk 5 miles to get our strategy books and read through them.
Oh my god, dude, I'm like that now because remember when we were at college, we had to actually go get physical books to do our research.
Yeah, carrying
I mean,
around like a
JSTOR was
mountain.
like in its infancy and all that stuff, and I kind of hated using it. You'd have to
The
use
worst
like
was
Iliad to get like different
yeah.
books from other libraries and stuff.
And kids not knowing the fun of what used to be where you would buy a $250 5-pound book and then go to the class and find out you're only going to look at like 3 chapters for the entire semester. And then you can go resell it for $3,
$3, I know. Yeah, I started reselling it on Amazon.
Yeah,
When you were
me
still,
too.
it was still easy to do. But yeah, dude,
Oh,
like
man.
speaking of that, like, oh my god, I've seen other reports that like teachers, professors are going back to the blue booklets
What are
to
the blue
stop.
books?
Remember those blue booklets that we have to do our finals on? We used to do our finals on.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep. They're going back to that. Like all handwritten
Wow. Oh
to
my god.
not use AI.
My
Unless,
hand would cramp so bad after that.
oh my god, me too. Dude, I'd be one of those kids that like, okay, I need like at least 2 or 3.
Yeah, because I
I
write
did it on
big,
purpose.
pours over.
I did it on purpose to make the professor suffer.
Oh.
Like, okay, you're gonna make me do this. I'm gonna make you read all of it. But yeah, there was
And
uh-huh.
don't forget about the fun of when you got the booklet back and the grade was like not on the top, it was inside, so you
Inside.
had to do that beating drum roll of C plus motherfucker, and then you go and I'm just like, okay, B minus is better.
Yeah,
Go
that's
through the
better.
pages. This is what I do. So if I submit something, like if I work really really hard on an email or a product and it takes me hours, and like I just did a product like 35 plus hours, took me over like a week and a half to do, and it was like pristine. Like I am so OCD when it comes to formatting and getting all the data laid out properly. But I don't know, are you like me where like you submit something and you don't hear anything back, or even if you hear like good job, you'll still go back and look at it again a few days later and just like it just gives you a warm and fuzzy about kind of like, I did this,
Yeah.
it looks really good, and I want to make sure I didn't make mistakes. Like I waste so much time doing that. I did that back in the day too with classwork.
Yeah, that is a confidence. We
Yeah,
don't have confidence in our work. Even
belief in
though it's
ourselves.
like Yeah,
even in
even
the
though like
fucking
for
30s.
certain projects, people like ask for me specifically, and
Mhm.
I'll be like, "Why? I suck." Like, actually, no, you don't. Type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
No, I get
That's
it,
the
man.
90s baby mentality. 80 or 90s 2000 baby mentality.
Yeah, and then we have to use like AI to check everything. That's another thing that irritates the hell out of me. It's like, did you run this through AI? Like, no, I know how to write. I'm not
Yeah.
illiterate, so I'm not going to run it through AI. The biggest insult that I had was I wrote out something and someone said to me, "Did you run that through did AI write that?" No. AI did not write that. I wrote that.
Yeah, that was my brain.
That was my brain,
Um,
which people neglect to use. And that gets to my other point. I saw
yeah.
another article saying that a teacher was like bringing back typewriters into into their
Wow.
classroom
That's actually kinda
to
cool.
combat
But
AI.
that would
I
be
know.
mind-numbing, though. Can you imagine, like, a
Click,
class
click,
of, like, 30 kids, like,
click,
"Ding, ding, ding, ding,
bing.
ding, 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 ding." Like, oh, you go nuts, man.
I'm sure it becomes white noise, kind of like you get used to it.
Yeah.
Remember when all the kids had laptops and you'd hear just the
Yeah,
typing you just get used to it.
the clacking, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, apparently one of the ways that AI, stands out in terms of, like, detection for when someone's trying to figure out if something was written by AI is I forget what they're called, but they use those, like, long dash marks in between sentences to break up the thought flow. So, like, blah, 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 dash, and then second thought of feeding into the first thought, and then dash, and then continue on with your full sentence thought. I write with those all the time, and I saw some videos of people getting graded like failing a class or failing an assignment because they use those. And the professor's like, "You didn't put these in there. This is what AI does. This is an AI." And I'm like, "Well, no, these things exist in our grammar system. Like we use them. Like people use them."
Yeah.
So now every time I write that, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I'm like, "Oh man, I hope no one thinks that I used AI for this bullshit."
Oh, dude, they ran Lincoln's Gettysburg Address
Oh
through
yeah, I remember that.
AI, and it got
Mm,
96% AI. That's where it's like, I can't trust this thing. I can't.
yeah.
If you're taking a document that's over 150 years old
Mhm.
and saying it's AI, that like, dude, this ain't gonna. And I
Yeah.
feel like we've beaten the proverbial AI horse to death already.
Yeah.
Um, there's another thing that I wanted to talk about, and I before the show started, Dean and I were talking because our episode with Tommy from Let's Get Freaky just dropped yesterday. I think it's like episode 367 or something like that. I'd have to double check. Actually, let me do
Mm.
that.
That sounds right, yeah.
And let me get it right because I don't like getting stuff. Yep, episode 367 with Tommy Cullen. And on that episode, buddy, you were sharing your UFO sightings that you saw when you were a kid. Um, and you shared some sleep paralysis stories. And my favorite sleep paralysis story that you have is that of the lizard entity that kind of had like clothing and all that stuff. And we always call it a lizard, like the lizard people. On Tommy's show. So if you haven't listened to that episode, folks, go and listen to Let's Get Freaky, episode 367. Dean and I were on there for a second time. We kind of started connecting the dots. It's like, okay, you started seeing these like things in the sky. And then I think you said one night you saw like what looked to be like a giant ship, but it was like kind of dark or something like
Yeah.
floating over your house. And
Darker
then
than
you had
dark, yeah.
yeah, then you had like the sleep paralysis episodes, and then finally one of your sleep paralysis episodes, um, you said that you saw this lizard person, you weren't afraid like your other incidents. You just kind of had this calm, and Tommy brought up, that's kind of similar to what people that have had visitations
Yeah, the progression of
and
it.
that progression of it like talk about.
Mhm.
And I think the penultimate question for today is, Dean, did you get probed? I'm kidding. No, no. But that just came to mind, like not the probing, just the whole sequence of events that like it just can't leave me. And I just wanted to dig into your mind a little bit. Like, did you ever think about that before? Or was it kind of like,
Yeah.
this happened and like I don't know, it was just coincidence type of
So I never thought about the I never thought about putting those together. The experiences, like seeing the crafts for some time and then seeing that big shape floating over me by myself out in the dark of some spring or summer evening, and then seeing that creature in the corner of my room coming out of sleep in the middle of the night. I never put together that all those could be connected. Honestly, like I was maybe being a little theatrical the last time we did a recording where I said that terrifies me. I'm not terrified because I haven't had something like that happen in a long time. And if it did really happen, if that's a real thing that happens, that could have happened to me, then I didn't seem to have any negative effects from it that I can tell, unless I was supposed to go off and be like, some multimillionaire genius or something. And they, oh shit, we scrambled this one's brain again, put him back. He's gonna have he's gonna have some issues with school for a while, but he'll figure it out. I just had a revelation and I'm kind of like freaked out by it because remember I tried to tell you guys what it looked like?
Yeah.
I told the story over and over again.
Mhm.
And I always added that point where it was wearing clothes that didn't look like any clothes I ever saw on Earth. It was very futuristic like
Is it
style.
something like Brack would wear?
Yeah. Hey guys, I wish I could do that voice. I love Brack. So here's the crazy thing. In prepping for discussion with this, because I wanted to talk about the Alpha Draconis, which are supposedly in alien lore, in real alien lore, those are the lizard people. Like they come from the Draco star constellation and the Alpha Draconis solar system or whatever, or star system, and they live inside the earth, the deep earth thing. So that's the thing I was looking up before this. I pulled up images on Google, and I've never done this before. I never searched for the name Alpha Draconis, which is supposedly like their name.
Please don't tell me it looks
I found an image that is pretty close to what I remember in my mind, and I'm going to send it to you now. And the thing that freaks me out the most about this isn't just the eyes. The eyes are what I remember the eyes being like, and the nose, but the clothing. I don't remember the clothing I saw being this fancy, but it's strange that somebody drew this, and it's so in line with what I had seen. And adding on to that creepiness, remember this happened to me when I was like barely 10 or 11. And I would have never even heard of Alpha Draconis or lizard people at that point in time. I might have seen like lizard looking people like we talked about in the Super Mario Brothers movie, but even that didn't come close to what this thing looked like. So it's extremely creepy to me right now that I had never ingested anything like this before, yet somebody somewhere drew something really similar to what was in my memory like 20 plus years ago.
Okay.
So I'm still trying to make sense of this. That's pretty much. And like I said, I never even heard
Why
of
does he look like he's
the
getting
Alpha
ready to go to
Draconis.
a Prince concert?
See, he looks altruistic, or he looks really like benevolent, but I think in the lore they're evil. I think they like try to control the human population, and they can shapeshift and stuff. I don't really know. This is a gentle way of me saying I don't really dive deep into this stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah.
hopefully
me
that
either.
increases my credibility about how weird this is for me, because I don't know if we can share this if it's like copyrighted. But man, just go search up, if you're listening to this, go just search Alpha Draconis, Draconis, and it's like 3 layers or three image sets down, and it's like this guy, like Chris said, or this alien dressed like Prince with this shiny vest on and these
I'll just put
glittering
the link in the
clothes.
description. It's not.
Yeah, that's cool.
copyrighted.
Yeah, that's shareable.
Yeah, I could do
But
that.
man, the more I look at it, the freakier it gets, because that is pretty close to what I remember seeing, aside from like the collared vest and stuff. But like that is pretty damn close.
That is an interesting picture. I've never done a deep dive on lizard people. The most I've heard about them is I watched the Y Files. I haven't watched them in a while, but
Mhm.
they would talk about like Hecklefish would always say lizard people, and it's like I love Hecklefish,
Vocal
and that's
stim.
where that's where like I kind of saw a couple episodes about lizard people and stuff like that, but I wasn't aware there was like lore or background about these type of things. I've always heard that the lizard people were always associated with negativity, the reptilians,
Mm.
want to take us over. And then recently you had some people, as I think recently as of this week, coming out saying that they're alien human hybrids stuff going on.
Right.
And like I think like a senator or something in Australia was like, that's not even the half of it, and I can't really tell you the rest of it. So I don't know if they're like yanking our leg, which I think they probably are. I don't know why someone in that type of position of power would even say that. Again, we've talked about like the disclosure hearings and stuff like that. If there was nothing to it, why would people in these positions with these ranks put their livelihood at risk to talk about this stuff in public?
Yeah.
So
I
I
feel like
don't
it
know.
because there's books and deals to be had probably.
Of course.
Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
so addressing the interbreeding stuff, I think that that's a really funny over the top conspiracy theory. But so I don't know. I want to assume that if there are aliens like this here, they would try to do something like that. And it kind of helps support this weird concept about aliens in general, where they're bipedal and they look generally like human physiology, which, like we said in the past, like scientists, like tons of people have always made the point, which I totally agree with. If these aliens evolved somewhere else in the universe separate from our line, or we have, they're separate from us genealogically, they should not look anything like us. There's so much a wide variety of possibilities of the way life forms can evolve and change and grow. And just the fact that aliens tend to have two arms, two legs, two eyes, and two whatever look just like us, to me, that says one of two things. That either says we came from some kind of engineered version of them, or more likely, what I think is more likely is their true bodies, the true extraterrestrial minds and bodies are somewhere else in the universe, either close by or far away. And they like created their own versions of these meat suits or these robot suits that look kind of like us, but they have their own uniqueness to them. And it's kind of like an alien cosplay sort of thing. Like, oh, let's create these humanoid looking meat suits or these robot suits that we can put our brains and consciousnesses and go mess with the alien or go mess with the humans. So I think that's more likely than them actually interbreeding with people. I mean, I think that's
No,
the most
I
efficient way.
agree. I agree. I know earlier on we kind of went back and forth on what they would look like. I'm kind of with you now. The
Yeah.
more that I think about it, I'm like, what is the likelihood that they not look like us, but kind of like built out in the similar, structure, bipedal,
Anthropomorphic, yeah. Mhm.
anthropomorphic, bipedal, type of look? That would mean that being bipedal would be like the ultimate formation of a life form, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, the
I
most efficient or
we could
whatever.
use thumbs. I don't raccoons have thumbs. I mean, they walk on all fours when they need to, so I don't know what that
By the
means.
way, fun fact, did you know that mushrooms are genetically closer to humans and animals than they are like other fungi and molds in
Really?
mold series? Yeah.
Really?
So
I didn't know that.
yeah, mushrooms have this weird connection with us. And the reason I bring that up is because there's also this whole stream of theory and conspiracy theory about DMT, which is like a chemical that our brains produce. And if you take DMT in a large amount, you have these hallucinogenic trips, which I've never done. I've never known anyone. I've known people in college who did shrooms, and I watched them do it and laughed at them while they did it, but I never had the balls to do it myself. But with DMT, apparently you take this naturally occurring chemical. The strange thing about DMT trips is people tend to report having the same experience in maybe two or three or four categories. So some people see like the mother figure of nature, and she has a very specific shimmery look to her, and the shapes and colors that go on around her. Other people report going to this location where there are these like android looking gnome sort of creatures. But what's so strange about it, there's actually even a video where they recorded these guys taking DMT, and they shined like a laser up against a wall through a certain lens. And they were explaining, like we were able to watch these guys on the video go up to the wall, look at this laser, and report seeing code, like actual strings of numbers and drawings or pictograms or whatever in the lasers. And that was reported across a variety of different people who didn't know each other, who took the same DMT and tried to have the same experience, and they did the same thing with the laser, and then they actually saw what was originally reported. So that's actually another curiosity. But that goes back to the Draconis and other aliens who can supposedly like shift through dimensions. Which makes me wonder if I did see like a lizard Draconi in my room 20 plus years ago, I would guess that it wasn't even really physically there. I would guess that there was some kind of like phase shifting going on out of phase, not really in 3-dimensional space, or even like sending messages through my brain to make me astro project this vision. Like, I'm just trying to be creative I'm not like, again, like, I don't know what the F happened. I could have just been having a bad dream, but also how did my brain create the vision of a Draconi that I've never seen before? That's also really weird.
No, those are some good points, man. I mean, like it comes to the point of like, does that species of alien actually exist? What
Yeah,
did you
what are they doing
see?
here?
Did you hallucinate something? I don't think you hallucinated the seeing those craft though.
Chips. Yeah,
I don't think
definitely
you
not.
did. Definitely
Yeah.
not. So I think there might be something to what you saw. And
Yeah. They had to be
hopefully
something
there
physical.
had to
'Cause
be.
my mom and my friends saw them at one point too. And
Wait,
their
what?
craft.
What? The craft. The craft.
Yeah, the craft.
Not the
So my
thing. Not the lizard
no,
thing.
no. Yeah, that's what I was. So the lights, the original lights that I was mentioning that would track across the sky and like shoot out smaller lights in return. I actually had other people, like my close friend was there for a sleepover one night, saw that, and then my mom had seen that with me on numerous nights. But the craft outside, the dark craft, was unfortunately just myself, and I like sprinted in to get my mom after I realized what was going on. But by the time I got back out with her, it was over the horizon. Man, I really wish like video recording was available more back then, because I would have totally captured that.
Yeah, definitely. And my guy, I think would be a good place to wrap up for today's episode.
Yeah, this was a fun little one. We had to
Yeah,
make it quick because I got some stuff going on, but yeah.
yeah, you got stuff going on. My foot is all jacked up, and I'm going to go and, like Carl says, I'm going to pop this pill, and the magical gate opens up over there.
They go through for the magic man.
Oh, by the
Oh,
way,
man.
if you have HBO Max, did you know they came out with like another Aqua Teen movie in like 2022 or 23? I
I
had no
did.
idea.
You didn't know?
No, I didn't. I need to watch it.
Yeah, it's funny. It's really good. It's worth
Okay.
it.
And all the seasons are on HBO Max, so I'm gonna start from like episode 1 and just watch.
You know what
this.
I started? That dude. I'm gonna do that with you. I'll do that in tangent. Let me know when you start that, and we'll like so we can revisit a lot of the funniness. But I'm just wrapping up working through Boondocks. I haven't watched the Boondocks in like over a decade, and I don't even think I made it to the more recent seasons that came out like post Obama. So I'm having fun watching those. And there's actually one that was banned that is no longer accessible on any of the platforms. So you have to go find it elsewhere online, and it's like the Ballad of Jimmy something. It's about Uncle Ruckus, like listening to this white guy, this racist white uh country music singer, and he sings
where he
about
like
the
makes the song
worst.
with he makes
Yeah, he makes a
with Uncle
song with
Ruckus.
them. Yeah, that was such a brilliant, funny episode. But the Boondocks is great, man.
I actually was watching that last weekend. We got through like halfway, almost through season 3. That
That's
show is
awesome, man.
so funny. So funny.
That's the only show where I will listen to the full intro. I will let the full intro play every episode because I love that song. It's such a great song, and the lyrics.
Yeah, I don't think they could come out with a new season of that in today's world. So many people would be up in arms. Just everything that we used to watch, everyone would just be up in arms, even with Chappelle's show. But
yeah, isn't that funny? You would guess that like that type of show would be coming out more progressively in this era, but it cut. I guess it's in the same vein as like the jokes that were made in like the 50s and 60s TV shows about beating your wife, like with the honeymooners or whatever. It's like, one of these days, Alice, bang, zoom, straight to the moon. He's like threatening beating his wife, and
Oh
that's how
god, what
kids
did
fly these
what did
days.
he
So,
say in that show? Was it like Family Guy made fun of it? Pow, right in the kisser or something like that?
oh yeah, power in the
Y
kisser,
Kisser.
bang, zoom
Yeah.
straight to the moon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
But if you haven't watched Chappelle Show, listeners, just go watch his Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Story skits.
they're so funny.
The fact that it's not just a skit, they were real. Like, these are events that really happened. The Prince one with the basketball always gets to me. It's oh, man. But
Who wants some
listeners,
y'all want some pancakes or something?
bitches. But listeners, we appreciate you tuning in for today's episode. Like we said, this one's a little shorter than normal. Um, I do want to say for an upcoming episode, we have someone like really awesome lined up from the Caribbean Mystics podcast, and I am super excited to get her on, Gabrielle Carrard. So keep your eye out for that for a future episode. We're working on scheduling to get her on. If you have not listened to that series and you're interested about the Caribbean paranormal in general, I highly recommend that show. Me myself having a Caribbean background from my parents. They don't like to talk about that stuff, but go listen to that podcast. You'll find out a lot more. And another thing I will add, Tommy and I from the Let's Get Freaky podcast, we just released today, actually, 4/3, our first episode of Let's Get Footy. So if you're a football slash soccer fan, which Dean
Love it.
absolutely loves and loves to talk about it, um, go ahead and search for Let's Get Footy. We're on Apple, Spotify, we're on YouTube. It's all a visual medium right now, right off the bat. We're still working on getting the social media set up, but if that's something you're interested in, or if you know someone that likes the sport and likes to listen to those type of podcasts, please tune in and subscribe to that. And finally, if you would like to be on the Wandering Road as a guest to share your stories or come talk about topics like this with us, share your opinions, please reach out to us at twroadpodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us on one of our social media platforms. We're always active via email, on YouTube, and on our Instagram. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. And at the time of recording, it is Good Friday and Easter weekend. So happy Easter to those that celebrate. And for everyone else, we hope you have a good weekend.
You've reached the end of tonight's journey on the Wandering Road. The show is written and produced by me, Chris, and my co-host, Dean. If you've got a scary story of your own, or if you'd like to join us as a guest, send your tale to twroadpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to follow us on social media for more haunted fun. And if you enjoyed tonight's episode, please rate, review, and share the show. It helps keep the lantern burning for fellow travelers. Until next time, keep your eyes on the road and your mind in the shadows, because the wandering never ends.